by now, I think, and Bill Brand is the mayor of Redondo Beach, one of the most dense cities in California, one of the most dense cities in the United States. I don't remember how many, but I think it's 10,000 people per square mile. This is not a town that's against density. This is not some snobby place with gigantic properties. And he's going to have a hell of a time dealing with SB 9, but other things as well. And that's one of the reasons he is jumping in with a major statewide initiative on people. So Bill Brand, take it away wherever you are.
Thank you, Jill. I really appreciate it. And I appreciate everybody being on this call today on a Saturday and yeah, taking an active role. It's very heartening for those of us who've been working hard behind the scenes. So I got a presentation. Many of you already know this information that I'll share. So I'll go through it quickly. I really would like to get to the questions as soon as possible. And John Heath is joining us. So he's one of our proponents. We got 5 proponents and he's happy to take questions as well. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and my presentation and go ahead and get started. Can you see that okay, folks?
Yes.
Great. So yeah, I'm Bill Brand, as Jill said, I'm Mayor of Redondo Beach.
Yes.
I'm a council member for 8 years. Got elected mayor a little over 4 years ago and was reelected for another 4 years back in March. Been working this land use stuff really pretty closely, especially the last 5-6 years. So yeah, a lot of you are familiar with the initiative. A lot of questions come up. There's a lot of complexities related to land use and zoning, as you know, but ultimately the fundamental question that it always comes back to is who's better suited to set zoning and other land use regulations for your town? Is it the legislature in Sacramento, made up of people all over the state who really have never even been to your town, or is it your local cities and counties represented by people that you elect and live where you live? I think the answer to that question is simple, and everyone would agree it's B in this case, and that as you get into this, it always somehow ends up coming back to that. It's the city's fault. Yep, I learned this about 5 years ago up in Sacramento. It was quite clear to me that we were being scapegoated. You even heard legislator Kiley say this in a meeting. They were scapegoating the cities, and this isn't going to fix the problem. And they really have been treating us as the problem, or I'll even say the enemy on this particular issue. And so the housing shortage caused by our local regulations, which, I find it an anathema to all the local electeds I've talked to up and down the state over the years who are working very hard to get more affordable housing in their towns. It's not simple supply versus demand, but that's their mantra. It's just simple supply and demand. Just build more and prices will come down and meet demand. And it just, it's a good economic theory. It breaks down when it comes to residential real estate. It is a theory. It works well usually, but it's not a natural law like water boils at 212 degrees. In fact, it breaks down in many, many cities that are popular to live in. San Francisco is the best example. It's the most densely populated city in the entire state, and it's also the most expensive. So density does not mean low prices and affordable. And of course, the impacts are our problem. And that's one of the biggest challenges we're going to have, is to meet all the services that we're used to meeting as residential development is forced on us. And, schools, schools, I don't know about your town, but our schools are full. We're not issuing any more out of district permits. Water, roads, transportation, everything that you guys are familiar with that we have to meet on the local level is now being upended in our ability to do that because housing does not pay. Residential real estate tax revenue is often the #1 revenue source in a city, but it's also the #1 cost driver to the tune of 2 to 1. Because you only get back in LA County, cities only get about 6 to 25% of that property tax revenue back to them. The average is about 12%. So we really in no way are able to meet all those challenges I mentioned before simply on residential real estate taxes. Cities make money on sales tax, commercial development, that sort of thing, industrial, not residential development. A lot of people don't understand that. And with all these upzonings frankly, that's just strictly for market rate housing. There are no affordable requirements in this. Here comes Wall Street. And you're starting to see, well, not really starting, I've been seeing them for years, but the most recent articles, Bubble Watch, investors are 51% of Southern California's home buying surge. That was a recent article just a couple of days ago. They're driving the prices and they see what's coming and they're going to build it out. And their new economic model is for rental income. And so they're looking for market rate rental income. So it was investors, not homeowners, that were 19% of the LA County real estate market this past summer. Another article came out recently in the New York Times. As pandemic evictions rise, Spaniards declare war on Wall Street landlords. So this is going on all over the world. Wall Street's found a new great economic model for their investors. Nothing wrong with that, but we have to protect the quality of life and the sustainability of our communities. And if this just continues, you know, it's not going to be good. So this goes back a ways for me. I was in Sacramento almost 4 years ago, meeting with my state senator, Ben Allen. And I was very concerned at the time about SB 827, which required unlimited density in cities within a quarter mile of a bus stop, which qualifies us almost in the entire town, certain time intervals during rush hour, as well as prevent us from setting minimum parking standards. So it was a disaster, and I was complaining to my senator about it. And he said, well, let's go meet Scott Wiener. He's right over here, and you can complain to him about it. And so I went in there and I had a nice meeting with Scott Wiener for about half an hour. And immediately I asked him, I said, where's the affordability component in all this? Because you're upzoning our town and our problem is affordable, not necessarily market rate. And I think that's true all over California. And he just kind of looked at me, didn't really answer. Talked for about half an hour, asked him again, no answer. And there hasn't been an answer. And that was almost 4 years ago. And so all the bills, 827 at the time, went down. Then it was SB 50 the next year, which went down. And then last year was SB 1120, which went down on a technicality. And then, of course, SB 9 passed this year. None. And that's just one moving through. But there's been over 60, and none of them have really addressed affordable housing. And in fact, they're displacing affordable housing. So what was the answer? Ultimately, after me, I really just planted the seed because we had done something similar locally. I said, well, we're just going to have to amend the Constitution to make zoning and land use a community affair. Otherwise, the state's going to be stripping our ability to control what goes on in our own town. So I started working with the Legislative Council. They assigned me some attorneys, and we wrote this initiative and finished it like in February 2019. And yeah, so I've been moving forward with all this and Better Way California, and people have been talking about it, but it was kind of a, you know, it was something we had in our back pocket. They didn't really want to have to do, but here we are. And it's become quite clear that that's really our answer at this point. So my assembly member, Almer Asucci, liked it so much. He said early this year, he said, Bill, why don't I just make it a bill? I'll just take this initiative and I'll make it a bill. And I said, well, it'll never get through the legislature. This is their neutron bomb. He goes, I know, but it'll raise awareness. And he got Senator Stephen Glazier in the Bay Area to co-author. It became what is known as ACA 7. Of course, it went nowhere. No surprise there. But it did raise awareness, and here we are. We decided to file it as our Neighborhood Voices initiative back in August. So just in time to make sure we got on the November 2022 ballot. What does it do? It amends Article 11 of the Constitution, transfers power for zoning and land use back from Sacramento to local agencies. There's exceptions for Coastal Act and large infrastructure projects. Does not affect fair housing laws or SEQR requirements, allows counties and cities to set their own standards, basically. And RENA SB 9, SB 10 can be superseded by local zoning and land use laws. As those pertain to local zoning and land use, the initiative will give the flexibility for the local communities to do what they like. So it was filed back in August 25th. We got title and summary November 1st. It's going to require well over 1 million signatures and several $1 million. And the deadline is April 30th, 2022 to collect over $1 million. Over 1 million signatures. Here are the proponents. We got 5 proponents up and down the state. It's tripartisan. You guys see the technical name of this is the Brand Wong Mendoza Tripartisan Land Use Initiative. That's the name of our committee. So some of you who were donating or writing checks and they didn't quite understand, because the common name is our Neighborhood Voices, but the technical name is that. And any elected officials, 3 of these proponents are elected officials. Their last name has to appear in the committee name. So that's why you see that. John Heath is on this call. He's co-founder of United Homeowners Association in Los Angeles. He's an attorney for affordable housing developer. Jovita Mendoza, council member over in the city of Brentwood, East Bay area. Dennis Richards, former planning commissioner, city and county of San Francisco. Peggy Wong, mayor, city of Yorba Linda, and myself, city of Redondo Beach. And this is not a partisan issue by any means. We're getting support from all parties, all economic classes, and it's very gratifying. And a lot of groups have formed over this or helped with this, Livable California being one of them, of course, and United Neighbors. Livable's endorsed our initiative. California Alliance of Local Elected Officials have been meeting, going on 2 years, I think. And then I see Mike Griffiths on this call. There's a group called California Communities for Local Control, or is it cities? Michael, correct me. I'm sorry. But they've done a fantastic job of advocating for local control. I think they got over 100 cities or over 200 cities to sign a resolution in support of local control last summer. And so now they're asking those cities to support our initiative. And then, of course, United Homeowners Association, LA Urban League, and many other community groups are in support. And we recently got East Bay Progressives to support ours. So yeah, that was very encouraging. So what can I say, Crenshaw community? I'm sorry, I didn't update this particular slide.
Hey,
what
Bill,
can Livable California do to help us?
Bill?
Well, anybody here can just simply go visit our website. You can sign up to endorse it. Doesn't cost anything, and it helps us demonstrate support. If nothing else, please go to our website and sign up, give me your email, and we'll be keeping you informed. Donate, donate, donate. We're in a big fundraising push right now. We are going to need, several $1 million to pay for a signature gathering. This is not a small ask, and we're getting donations large and small. So whatever you can afford is much appreciated. Some of our donations as small as $10. Getting a lot of $100 donations, that neighborhood, and much bigger donations as well. So it's a grassroots effort, and it's going to be a combination of small and large donations, no question about it. So don't think your $100 isn't going to help. It's mostly $100 donations, and that's going to get us over the hump.
Hey, Bill,
you can endorse our initiative, as I just said, on our website, and you can volunteer for signature gathering. There's a lot of signature gathering going on right now. So far, volunteer. And it's very gratifying and very organized. If you want to help gather signatures, go to our website, sign up for it. We've got an action kit where several things you can do. One of the things we're doing is, on the last point there, pass a resolution of support. Several cities are now passing resolutions and considering resolutions of support for our initiative locally. Our local COG passed it recently unanimously. A COG is a council of governments. They have those all over the state, and this particular COG's made up of 16 cities.
Bill, I'm going to interrupt you for just a sec, because
Sure.
I think John Heath has been trying to weigh in on something.
Okay. Yeah. Go ahead, John.
I wasn't using my regular speaking voice, so I didn't want to mess Bill's roll up. I just wanted to say, Bill mentioned a recent endorsement that we got. That was from the East Area Progressive Democrats, and I'm happy to say our friend Mary Fisher is also on this call. So Mary, thanks to you and Hans and your members for that as well. And everything Bill said and then some. We definitely need the support. If you check out our website, you'll find a couple of updates, including some interesting information on a recent poll that shows that folks who voted in the last general election support the concept that's put forth in the initiative by a margin of nearly 3-1. So we're on the right side of this, folks. Don't lose heart just because whoever you think is saying the wrong thing. When the people understand what's really going on here, they will stand with us on this, because everybody believes that they should have a say about what happens in their community, and that's it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that's my presentation. We're open for questions, folks. And again, I'll encourage you to go to our Neighborhood Voices and and give us a hand. This is really only going to happen by getting help from people like you guys. You guys are on this call on Saturday at 10 o'clock. You're our best resource. So yeah, we're here to help you.